As far as our directional bias goes, the intermediate time frame will continue to be neutral bearish, and our short-term bias will continue to be neutral bullish, but with the understanding that 55.9075 to 5600.75 is a strong area of resistance. It's an important short-term inflection point, and we now need to see a sustainable breakout above that area if the buy side is going to remain in control. So the main question today is whether the recent strength is going to remain in play and result in a successful breakout above initial resistance, or are larger time frame sellers going to step in at 55.9075 to 5600.75 for a bigger move to the downside towards Friday's RTH and overnight low, and possibly even lower. Now, in order to get a successful breakout, we will need to see broad market strength and sustained upside momentum, and the Nasdaq taking out its own respective resistance at 19,648 to 19,726. So if off the open we are seeing sustained upside momentum and NQ takes out its own resistance, then there would be potential for ES to break higher as well, because so far heading into that resistance, the buy side has been more dominant, and we have already seen a pretty nice response off that zone in the overnight session. So now if ES goes back up there, it'll be second or third test of that resistance area, and if you continue to test any given area of support or resistance, eventually it can break. So today's intraday bias is really going to hinge on whether we can put in a breakout above initial resistance, or do we get a stronger rejection and failure at that zone. Now, because it's a strong area of resistance, if we're going to get a rejection, we want to see some better downside momentum come into play. So if ES is going to head lower, then we should be seeing some stronger downside tick readings and some sustained downside momentum. So on the downside, we have pre-market support at 55.63.5 to 72. Holding above that area would be a sign of stability, and a breakdown below it would be the first sign of some notable intraday weakness. On the upside, we have pre-market resistance at 55.81 to 86 quarter, and a break and hold above that zone would serve as an intraday bullish indication. And from there, if ES can take out the initial resistance zone, that would serve as a bullish confirmation. And as long as that breakout is happening on sustained upside momentum, with the Nasdaq also breaking higher, we can get upside range expansion into 56.08 to 56.18, as well as 56.25 quarter to 33 quarter, where sellers can still be active on first test. And the higher the market pushes, the better the resistance it will run into, and the more exhausted the range will get, and higher the odds that sellers will step in. So that is the market context and plan heading into the open. Let's see how the real-time situation shapes up and how the market behaves at the pre-market and initial resistance zone, as well as the pre-market support zone. That's going to provide us with an early indication as to which side is in control on the day time frame, and we'll take it from there.